Okay? There's different organizations for different groups of people who have different needs and different rights that they want to exercise, you know, and different oppressions that they face. So once we have all these organizations set up, all these unions across the country, we want to have a communist party or a workers' party, meaning no capitalists allowed. Okay? We have no capitalists are allowed to vote in this party. It's all made up of workers and socialist organizers and intellectuals. So you have a political party that's connected to all these unions around the country and all these people's organizations. Then you use that political party that has all those ties with all these organizations all across the country to take over the government. Once we take over the government with the Workers' Party, then we can use the power of the state to suppress the capitalist class and take away their rights and give more rights and freedoms to the workers and empower the workers. There's anarchists and even people who call themselves anarcho-communists who believe that, if we just, make community groups, if we just do the first part, and be against the government, and try to get rid of the government and be self-sufficient or whatever, then we can build a better society. Us Marxists know that once you get rid of the current state, there's going to be a power vacuum. So what we want to do is seize control of the state for the workers with the Workers' Party. Karl Marx correctly said, the history of all state societies, all societies with the government, is the history of class struggle. And the government or the state has always historically, it's historically and inherently, what it is an apparatus that the ruling class uses to oppress the rest of the population and control them, to keep them subservient and working for them, whether it be in the earlier slave societies, where the ruling class was these slave owners who had their own democracy, like in Athens, or sometimes did not have democracy, like in Egypt. They had the pharaohs. In a lot of other countries, they had the king or the queen or the emperor or whatever. The point is that the state has always been an apparatus, an organ that the ruling class can use to systematically oppress and control the rest of the population. So what we want to do as communists is take control of the state by a democratic association of workers with a party that has members in all of these unions and people's organizations across the country. And so it's not only representing the masses, it is the masses. The line is from the masses to the masses. This party would actually be a true representation of the people of this country. Meaning, you would have people from all sectors of labor in this party, people from all marginalized and oppressed groups in this party, with democratic power. And once we take control of the state, we can use that state apparatus to oppress the capitalist class, to take away their right to rule over us, to pass laws that take away their right to do whatever they fuck they want. The laws that protect the wealthy from being punished. That's one of the first things that would go. Okay, because we know that, sorry, I had to read that comment. It made me lose my train of thought. I'm just so sick and tired of these fucking dumbass people. So I just want to block them as soon as it makes sure it's a fucking talking shit guy. Because as Marxists, we know that you don't just push a button for socialism. Okay, once we take control of the state, but with the Workers' Party, we don't just push a button and then boom, now we're a socialist society. There's still institutions, you know, rooted in this capitalist mode of production, run by capitalists. You know, we have to pass laws, fund programs, and fund industries that are for the people, and the people will vote on those industries and programs that they want to fund to start changing society in a way where people have a basic standard of life, and if they want to work more, they can earn more money and have more luxury in their life, but they will never have a right to own anybody else or to take the labor value that somebody else produces. That's what capitalism is. When you work for your boss, you're making that company maybe hundreds of dollars an hour. You know, maybe if you're a super skilled laborer, even more, thousands of dollars per hour. But he's only paying you maybe $10, $20 per hour, $100 per hour. So maybe the first 2 hours of your workday, you're getting paid for what you produce for that company. And the rest of the day, you're basically working for free. You're basically paying off the debt to the capitalist for him to allow you to work for him. I'm being sarcastic, but I'm just trying to say it in a way that people can understand, you know. You said Minnesota also caps on rent increases by owners. Yeah, I actually saw a post on Facebook recently. I said there's a lot of posts I see with people who are on the same mission as me, you know. And it's a petition and, you know, organization that's trying to push for rent control in California. And so, you know, I definitely support that. And, you know, I think we all should try to join a renters organization. If we rent, join a union. If you work, or start a union. And, you know, the reason I'm so confident about this, and it's so crazy, you know, to think now, you know, because before the Soviet Union was formed, they didn't ever have a socialist state to look at and say, look, they did it, it worked. But we do have that now. Like both Russia and China, both of those countries were severely underdeveloped in comparison to the rest of the world. Both of those countries, within a few decades after becoming a socialist country, became one of the most prosperous, two of the most prosperous countries on the earth, the only two countries that could compete with the global hegemonic imperialist power, the United States and NATO. You know, and the Soviet Union was disbanded illegally without the consent of the people. Poles in every single country that used to be part of the Soviet Union, from the population of that country, all of those countries, the majority of people wish that the Soviet Union hadn't ended and want it back. But I don't see that happen anytime soon. I would love to be pleasantly surprised. I don't support Putin. You know, Russia is an imperialist, capitalist nation, just like the United States. They're just a lesser imperialist nation, you know, by themselves. But with their alliance with China and other nations, you know, they have, you know, the thing about with the alliance. God bless you, Toxic. Okay, so let me just let's take a what do you call that? Let's take a comedic relief. Maybe not so comedic, just a relief from the heavy stuff. Let's take a moment to talk about other things. Well, let me look at the comments. This guy says most recent sandwich selection. And then he said something about grilled cheese preference. So I'll try to answer both of those because that's a fun question, right? Most recent sandwich selection.
Tune him out.
I had a burger and fries yesterday, actually. You know, just a nice American burger with the, you know, the beef, the tomato, the lettuce, onions. Said grilled cheese preference. I'm not a big fan of grilled cheese, honestly. It's it feels like junk food, you know. Carbs, you don't need a lot of them. We were tricked as Americans by the big lobbying organizations who misled us for decades into believing that we need a lot of carbs when we actually shouldn't eat too many carbs. So that's the bread. And then there's the cheese. You only need a little bit of dairy, if at all. Some people don't need the dairy at all. Their body is actually resistant to dairy. I personally don't think you need it at all. But I have seen some things show that if you don't get your nutrients from another places, that dairy can be a good substitute. You know, but you don't need much dairy and you don't need much carbs. So, you know, the way I look at food like that is, you know, I'm a smart, knowledgeable person. And, you know, through the course of my adult life, I've learned more and more about health. And, you know, maybe it's psychological. Part of me wants to credit my psyche. Part of me wants to say that I just know it's not good. I stay away from it. It doesn't. It's not even appealing to me anymore. But who knows? Maybe I just don't like grilled cheese, and it's convenient that it's not really that healthy. You know, I don't know. But I would like to say that I've trained myself to not really care for big unhealthy foods like that. Well, you know, I started this live stream. I said I'm gonna entertain my viewers and not beg too much. And I think I've given a good education. I think I've given some good education. Hey, thank you, Mr. J. I think I've given some good educational content so far. I would like to say for the theme of this live stream, you know, the United States is a settler, colonial, white supremacist, imperialist, global hegemonic power that I pray that I can be alive to see it replaced with a new socialist government. This country was founded on slavery and genocide, and it's not just the fact that it was founded on slavery. It's not just the fact that what made America get so wealthy and so rich as a nation. It is literally slave labor and genociding countless different peoples and tribes that lived here before. You know, it's also the fact that it's an inherent part of the structure of this society. Yeah, some laws have been changed a little bit to be more with the times, but when you have this structure in place that's a historically white supremacist structure, which is a capitalist structure, which allows oppression to occur legally, which allows it to be legal for people to own all the resources that we use, like own the water, own the electricity. As a socialist, I believe all the people who live in this country should have a democratic right to decide what we do with the fucking water. That's fucking insane to me, to think that one guy, because he fucking inherited it, nothing he ever did himself. He inherited a water company from his father, an electric company, things we all collectively use. But oh no, one guy, because his rich daddy gets to make all the decisions about it. Fuck that. And this was what I was gonna say earlier. You know, I was showing my girlfriend one of those videos, and she says, you know, and she made me really happy because she told me before what I was about to say, that, you know, all this stuff I've been telling her and showing her has really filled in a lot of the pieces for her, because she felt like it just wasn't right. The history, the indoctrination, brainwashing history they teach you, you know, and I was happy to hear that, because that's what we want to do as communists. That's what I told her. So, you know, we're watching the video, and she says, yeah, you know, that's true that they try to lie and say that you're jealous. Like, because I'm watching the Jordan Peterson, we're not Jordan Peterson, but the video from Hakeem, the communist on YouTube, making a video about Jordan Peterson and showing, you know, his bullshit. And, you know, he's talking about how, you know, he believes that socialists don't actually care about poor people. They just hate rich people. You know, and it's like, Hakeem said it beautifully. He's like, so what? Socialists just exist outside of the class structure? Like, we're not poor or rich? Like, we can't be poor ourselves? And he's like, no, that's not true. Most socialists I know are poor people. I'm a poor person, and I'm a socialist. You know, and I told my girlfriend as a joke, I said, because Hakeem, he was saying, yeah, oh no, they don't love, if they're poor, they don't love their family, their friends. They don't care about their co-workers. You know, they just hate rich people, which is stupid if you really think that. Like, really think about it for a second. You know, there's a lot of different socialists in a lot of different careers, a lot of different fields, a lot of different aspects of life. If you really think those people don't care about their family, their friends, and they just have some burning, passionate hate against rich people, then you're fucking stupid. The bottom line. You know, I told my girlfriend, I was like, being sarcastic, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really love you. You know, I just hate rich people. And she's joking around. She's understandable. But I was like, no, I'm just kidding. You know. Of course, I love my girlfriend. I love my friends. I love my friend who died 2 weeks ago. And I don't hate rich people. Okay, I hate the system that allows for one person to control the vast sum of resources that we all collectively use. You know, instead of the workers who work in those industries getting those resources, you know, instead of them having the democratic right to run their own industries. You know, I don't know if some of you have ever seen, but on the West Coast, you see it a lot more. At least that's been my personal experience. Never saw nothing like this anywhere near my hometown in North Carolina growing up. But on the West Coast, they have a lot of co-op grocery stores, right? Where the workers own the store, you know. They don't have an owner. They have a democratically run store that's owned by every single worker that works there. It's a cooperative. And this is things that communists have been doing for over 100 years. Okay? And so, yeah, I went to one recently. I was talking to my girlfriend and my friend, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good thing. This is what we want as communists. We want all the industries to be like this, right? And later I'm showing my girlfriend at first, but then my friend came in, towards the end of it. I told him too. I'm watching a video by the YouTuber Luna Oi, Luna space OI, and she's a communist YouTuber who was born and raised and lives in Vietnam, a communist country, a socialist country run by a communist government, okay? And so she has a lot of videos explaining how socialism works in Vietnam, what they've done to try to progress or construct into socialism or construct socialism. As I said before, you don't just push a socialism button. And the unfortunate thing was they had a better form of socialism that had less wealth disparity, less less unbalanced wealth, but they had to make market reforms because the United States sanctioned them with the global hegemony over the global economic trade market. So I think a lot of people, Americans, like to conveniently just forget about this fact that we Americans, we actually live in the most powerful global hegemonic empire that's ever existed in recorded history on this earth. Okay? So that's not forever, though. That's not forever. It's a declining empire, and that's obvious to anyone of the younger generation. Our parents had better lives than us. Our grandparents had even better lives than that. And the quality of life for the citizens of the empire is decreasing because the empire's hold on the rest of the world is getting weaker. And the more all these other nations subjugated by the United States fight back, and the more they come together amongst themselves and stop relying on the dollar, which is what a lot of countries are doing right now. It's called BRICS. Economic trade bloc with Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now a lot more nations have joined also. And they're trading in their own currency instead of the dollar. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of information, but the point is that for the past, since World War II, the United States has invaded and ruthlessly murdered and genocided any group of people who they suspected of being communists. Why? And no, you can't say it's because, communism is just so evil, we wanted to help those people. No. Number one, you can't genocide a people and then say I did that to help them. Okay? Number two, the United States, since World War II and even before, has supported the most evil genocidal fucking tyrants and dictators as long as they submit to the American capitalist market. As long as that fucking leader of that country signs the papers with the World Economic Forum, the World Trade Organization, whatever, as long as they sign the papers and say, I will not nationalize the industries, to give the funds to the poor people. I will allow American capitalists to buy whatever they want in a country and subjugate all the people, whatever they want. It doesn't matter what the fuck that leader does. They can be a genocidal tyrant to their own people. America does not give a fuck unless those people decide to fight back and form a democratic worker state. How long did the fucking United States let all these fucking mafia guys go down to Cuba and fucking treat the local population like savages with all their money? Let the Batista administration, fucking brutalize the people with the police because they want to satisfy the Americans coming in. They don't give a fuck about the people. And it's like, yeah, I say that, but I don't even want to go further into that because most people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about because they're not educated on these things. This is hundreds of assassination attempts on Fidel Castro. 0 assassination attempts by the CIA on Batista. Hello, snotty girl. How you doing? God bless you. How am I? Man, I started this live stream feeling good, optimistic. And now I'm just fucking pissed off, mad because I feel what do you call that when you're doing something you should do? I feel responsible for using this time I have with you people watching me right now to try to educate you on some of these things. That's what I'm supposed to do. But also, I just feel so pissed off because it's like, and that's the crazy part about it. It's like, yeah, I can ask for money here and there, but what gets the viewers is when I keep on asking for money. Have I ate today? I did have half of a Tostitos pizza, the little short rectangle pizzas you buy at Walmart or whatever. That cost like $2 nowadays. They used to be $5 for $4 or $4 for $5. Now they were on sale, like they were $5 a piece, and they marked them down to $2. I said, okay, that's almost reasonable. Definitely would never pay $5 for that shit. That's just crazy. So, yeah, now I'm out of money and I only got $1, man. Somebody sent me $1 this live stream, man. So, you know what? I spent an hour educating, speaking on important things. So maybe I could just use the rest of this live stream to try to get some money. Hello, everybody. God bless. I really need some money, man. I got $1 to my name, and I told my girlfriend that I was going to come back with some food. Somebody, please, don't make me a liar. Somebody, please, help me not be a liar, because I love her. Help me out here, man. Just thinking about even making some chicken Alfredo tonight. I don't know, though. Hey, who got $1? Let me find out. Let me find out who got $1. Come on now. Somebody help me out here.